Dear students, in the previous section we have discussed about the market equilibrium with the fixed number of firms. In today's class we are going to discuss about market equilibrium with the free entry and exit. We all know that one of the important features of perfect competition is free entry and exit. Free entry and exit implies that there are no restrictions for the firms to enter the market or exit from the market. Generally, when the existing firms are earning supernormal profit, some new firms will enter the market. That means, whenever there is a profit in the market, some new firms will enter the market, and whenever there is loss or when the existing firms are incurring loss, some firms will exit the market, right. So, in this section let us discuss about the impact of free entry and exit on market equilibrium. So, free entry and exit and its impact on market equilibrium, it implies that no firm will earn supernormal profit or incur loss by remaining in production as far as equilibrium is concerned. So, existing firms will not earn either supernormal profit or they will not incur any loss. So, that is the implication of free entry and exit on market equilibrium. So, when the existing firms are earning supernormal profit, then some new firms will enter into the market. As a result, the total supply in the market will increase. As the supply increases, price of the commodity will decrease and the supernormal profit will be wiped out. Whenever there is supernormal profit, if the firms are earning supernormal profit, then it will attract some new firms. So, new firms will enter. New firms will enter the market. As a result, total supply in the market will increase. As the supply of the commodity increases, price of the commodity will decrease because demand remains the constant. As a result, supernormal profit will be wiped out. Supernormal profit will be wiped out. As a result, price of the commodity will decrease and now the existing firms will earn only normal profit. Existing firm will earn normal profit. Now, if the firms are earning less than normal profit or if the existing firms are incurring loss, if the existing firms are incurring loss, some existing firms will leave the market, As a result, total supply decreases. It leads to increase in the price of the commodity. Now, the firms will earn only normal profit. It implies that because of free entry and exit of firms, market price will always equal to the minimum of average cost. It implies that price will be always equal to minimum of average cost, because under perfect competition firms are earning only normal profit. If they earn supernormal profit, some new firms will enter the market. As a result, supernormal profit will be wiped out, and whenever there is a loss in the market, some existing firms will leave the market, and again the existing firms will start earning only normal profit. It implies that price will be always equal to minimum of average cost. The quantity supplied will be determined by the market demand at that price. Here market supply is insignificant because supply is completely determined by the market demand at that particular price. Now let us explain the implications of a free entry and exit on market equilibrium with the help of a diagram. This is the OY axis, this is OX axis, it represents quantity, OY axis represents price, and this is the price line, and this price is equal to minimum of average cost, and this is the demand curve. Point E is the equilibrium point, and Q0 is the equilibrium quantity demanded as well as supplied. Now OQ0 is the equilibrium quantity. For the sake of simplicity, we are assuming that all the firms are identical. Now, how many number of firms are required to supply this OQ0 quantity? Let us see. The number of firms required to supply the equilibrium quantity N0 is equal to equilibrium quantity divided by the quantity supplied by the individual firms. Quantity supplied by the individual firms. Now, let us consider one numerical example. Number of firms required to supply equilibrium quantity, that is N0 is equal to Q0 divided by Q0F. Here Q0 means equilibrium quantity, Q0F means quantity supplied by a single firm. Now let us consider one numerical example. Suppose that quantity demand function QD is equal to 200 minus P, where the P value of P lies between 0 and 200. So value of P lies between 0 and 200, and it becomes 0 if price is greater than 200. This is the demand function. Next, the supply function of a single firm, quantity supply function, that is supply function of single firm QSF is equal to 10 plus P, where the value of P lies between, the value of P is greater than or equal to 20, and it becomes 0 if it is less than 20. This is the demand function and this is the supply function of a single firm. It follows that as far as perfect competition is concerned, no firm will produce below the minimum average cost. because if they produce below the minimum average cost, they will incur loss. So, therefore, we can say that the equilibrium price is equal to 20, equilibrium price P0 equal to 20. Now, equilibrium quantity supplied by a single firm is equal to 10 plus 20 is equal to 30. 10 plus 20 is equal to 30. Now, the equilibrium number of firms required to supply this equilibrium quantity, that is N0 is equal to Q0 divided by Q0 F is equal to 180 divided by 30 is equal to 6. Now, equilibrium quantity supplied by a single firm, that is Q0F is equal to 10 plus 20 is equal to 30. Therefore, the number of firms, equilibrium number of firms required to supply this equilibrium quantity, that is Q0 divided by Q0F is equal to 180 divided by 30 is equal to 6. Therefore, we can say that P0 is equal to 20 is the equilibrium price, Q0 is equal to 180 is the equilibrium quantity, and quantity supplied by a single firm is 30. Number of firms required to supply this equilibrium quantity is 6. Now, let us see the impact of shifts in the demand curve on this market equilibrium. What happens to this equilibrium quantity if the demand curve shifts to the right side or if the demand curve shifts to the left side? We should remember one thing, that if the demand curve shifts either to the right side or to the left side, equilibrium price is not going to change because it remains fixed. If equilibrium price P is always equal to the minimum of average cost, and only the equilibrium quantity will change. Let us see if the demand curve shifts to the right side. So, this is the new demand curve. So, when the demand curve shifts to the right side, there occurs excess demand in the market, excess demand, because the supply remains constant. So, it leads to excess demand. So, when the demand for the commodity increases, automatically we know that price of the commodity will increase, and as a result the existing firms will earn supernormal profit. As a result, some new firms will enter into the market, and also the supply of the commodity will increase and price will come down, and again it will reach to the minimum level, that is P0 is equal to minimum of average cost. So, the existing firms will earn only the normal profit, but the equilibrium quantity increases. Price is not going to change, but equilibrium quantity increases because of increase in the demand. This is the new quantity demanded as well as supplied. See, if the demand curve shifts to the right side, there arises excess demand. Excess demand leads to increase in the price of the commodity, and if the price of the commodity increases, the existing firms will earn supernormal profit. As a result, some new firms will enter into the market and the market supply will increase. When the market supply increases, price of the commodity decreases, and again it reaches to this level, P is equal to minimum of average cost, and equilibrium quantity increases from OQ0 to OQ0 dash. Now we have to see what happens if the demand curve shifts to the left side. Let us say its impact. Y axis origin, x axis quantity, price. This is the price line, P is equal to minimum of average cost, and this is the demand curve. And if the demand curve shifts to the left side like this, D2, D2. So, D2, D2 becomes the new demand curve. So, when the demand curve shifts to the left side, there arises excess supply, because demand decreases, supply remains the constant, means there will arise excess supply. So, when there is excess supply in the market, price of the commodity will decrease, and when price decreases, some of the existing firms will not be able to sell their desired quantity. So, some firms will leave the market. As a result, total supply will decrease, and when the supply decreases, price of the commodity will increase. So, the existing firms will start earning normal profit, and price will again reach to this level, P is equal to minimum of average cost. So, here the quantity decreases to Q0 double dash. So, if the demand curve shifts to the right side or if it shifts to the left side, the equilibrium price is not going to change, it remains the same, only the equilibrium quantity changes. If the demand curve shifts to the right side, equilibrium quantity increases, and if the demand curve shifts to the left side, equilibrium quantity decreases. So, that is about the impact of free entry and exit on market equilibrium. Now, the last topic of this chapter about applications of demand and supply analysis. So, in this section we are going to discuss some of the applications of demand supply analysis. We know that sometimes the prices of the commodities increases beyond the normal level. Similarly, sometimes the prices of the commodities decreases below the desired level. Often it becomes necessary for the government to regulate the prices of the commodities if it becomes too high or too low. So, in this section we are going to discuss some of the applications of demand and supply, like price ceiling and price floor. Let us first discuss about price ceiling. Price ceiling. Price ceiling means the government imposed upper limit on the price of a good or service. Government imposed upper limit on the price of a good or service. So, this is called price ceiling. Government imposed upper limit on the price of a good or service. So, if the price of a good or service becomes too high, generally it is imposed on necessary items like rice, sugar, kerosene, wheat, etc. And the price fixed here is above the. In this section, we are going to discuss these issues within the framework of a perfect competition. Let us first discuss about the first one, that is price ceiling. Price ceiling means the government imposed upper limit on the price of a good or service. Government imposed upper limit on the price of a good or service, and it is generally fixed on essential commodities like rice, sugar, kerosene, wheat, etc. And this price is below the market determined price, and government fixes this price especially to protect the interest of the weaker sections of the society, because as far as weaker sections of the society is concerned, they are not able to buy such good or services at the market determined price. So, such price is called price ceiling. Now, let us see the implications of price ceiling on market equilibrium. Y axis, that is price, x axis quantity, this is the supply curve and this is the demand curve, and this is the equilibrium point, this is equilibrium price, this is equilibrium quantity. Suppose that this equilibrium price or the price which is determined in the market is too high as far as the poorer sections of the society is concerned. Now, the government may fix price below this market determined price, say for example price ceiling at this level. Price ceiling, under price ceiling, prices are fixed below the market determined price. So, this is the upper limit imposed by the government on the price of a good or service. Now, what happens to the demand and supply here? Now, if the price is OPC, that is price ceiling price, at this price OQ01 becomes the supply and OQ02 becomes the demand, means demand is greater than supply, demand is greater than supply. So, that situation is termed as excess demand, excess demand. So, if the government fixes price below the market determined price, it leads to excess demand, and now it becomes the duty of the government to solve the problem of excess demand. Generally, government solves this problem through rationing system. Rationing system means here the government fixes the maximum amount that a consumer can purchase, or it limits the quantity by issuing ration coupons, right. As far as the ration shops are concerned, food grains are not distributed in unlimited quantity, only the fixed quantities are distributed through ration shops, right. So, the excess demand will be solved like this, and this may have two consequences, that is, if there occurs excess demand in the market and a government solves this problem through rationing, it may have two consequences. The first one, the consumer has to stand in long queues in front of the ration shops in order to get the food grains. And secondly, it may leads to black marketing. Some of the individuals will purchase the food grains from the ration shops in a larger quantity and they will sell in the open market at a higher prices. So, these two consequences are there as far as the price ceiling is concerned. So, that is about the price ceiling. Now, let us consider another aspect, that is price floor, lower limit on the price of a good or service fixed by the government or the government imposed price floor means the government imposed lower limit on the price of a good or service, that is called price floor. For example, agricultural support programs or the minimum support prices or the minimum wage legislations, etc. Sometimes the prices of agricultural items, for example, onion or this tomato or vegetables, whatever it is, decreases below the normal level, and as far as the producers are concerned, they are not able to cover the cost of production if they sell at that price. Now, it becomes the duty of the government to protect the interest of our farmers by giving support prices or the minimum support prices. You might have heard about this minimum support prices. And also similarly, if the wage rate decreases below the normal level, there the laborers are not able to maintain their standard of living, or they are not able to get essential commodities. Now, it becomes the duty of the government to ensure the interest of the laborers, and it fixes the the government fixes the minimum wage rate for the laborers. Generally, as far as the price floor is concerned, it is fixed above the market determined price. Under price floor, prices are fixed above the market determined price. Let us see diagrammatically. Y axis, that is price, x axis quantity, and this is the supply curve, this is the demand curve, this is the equilibrium point, this is equilibrium quantity, this is the equilibrium price. Suppose this price is very low as far as the producers are concerned or the farmers are concerned, it may fix price above this level. This is the market determined price, and we know that under price flow, prices are fixed above the market determined price. Suppose the government fixes the price at this level, that is PF. Now, what happens to the demand and the supply? Here, this is the demand and this is the supply. Supply is greater than the demand, so it leads to excess supply. Excess supply. And generally we know that whenever there occurs excess supply in the market, the price will decrease. But here it is not happening like that, because it is the price fixed by the government. So, this excess supply, as I already told, the problem of excess supply will be solved by the government. So, what the government will do? Government will purchase this much quantity at the predetermined price, and we know that the government maintains buffer stocks of food grains, isn't it? So, government directly purchases food grains or whatever the crops it is, and maintains the stock of such grains, and it protects the interest of our farmers. So, this is about the price floor. Okay, with this chapter is over. I hope you understand this chapter. Thank you.